Yo, what is up guys, Ghost here, welcome back to another video. Today we've got a lot of Battlefield 6 news to cover. Quite a few interesting things have been discovered in the latest creator build. There's also been some really crazy leaks coming out of the Battle Royale mode that shows that apparently full-on levolution, entire destruction of buildings is going to be present whether we thought it or not in Battlefield 6, so that's pretty wild. As always, if you guys enjoy the content on the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with everything Battlefield, and as always, thank you guys so much for the support. Alright, with that said, let's begin with a change that I think could prove to be pretty controversial, and that is that if you're winning a game of Battlefield Conquest and your team holds all of the flags in Battlefield 6, a timer will start, and at the end of that timer, if you've all capped the enemy team, they will just outright lose the game. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here. So this is a picture of this taken again from the recent creator build. And as you can see, it says 12 seconds to critical mission failure. This kind of gives me mixed feelings. I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. On the one hand, you know, I don't think it's fun for people to have to partake in incredibly one-sided matches where you're just getting absolutely slammed by the enemy team. You've got no chance of a comeback. And so I think in those situations, this is maybe a good thing. But on the other hand, I've had tons of games like this where our team, at the end of it, does manage to actually come back. Now, I assume you only need to go and cap one of the enemy flags to stop this timer, but from what I've heard, and take this with a pinch of salt because it may not be completely accurate, this timer is only like 15 or 20 seconds long, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. This timer needs to be 2 minutes, like at least multiple minutes, to really give the losing team a good chance of getting behind enemy lines, maybe flanking the enemy, and capping one of their flags to initiate some sort of a comeback. If that isn't the case, I think this could be really broken. We've seen this kind of thing from Call of Duty before, where a nuke will just launch if your team gets like all capped. I think it was in Ground War at some point or another. So is that a little bit of COD creeping in here? I don't know. Like I say, I think it's a good thing in some situations, but in a lot of situations, it could also, you know, impact the game quite negatively. So I guess we'll see. Moving on from that, it looks like DICE are really interested with the Battlefield 6 in slowing down the pacing. Recently, we've seen them nerf the movement a little bit since the beta, but not only that, they've also nerfed the health regeneration speed. So if we take a look here, and the credit for this one goes to Exclusive Ace. This is from his video. I'll link that down below. But he's discovered that the regeneration rate of the health has gone from 20 HP per second to 10 HP per second. So if we just go and watch this little clip here, you'll see on the left side here, this is in the beta, 60 damage takes 3 seconds to regenerate, so that's 20 HP per second. In the new build, 40 damage takes 4 seconds to regenerate, which is only 10 HP per second. Now, the auto regen delay is still 5 seconds, so what that means is that when you take damage, it will take a full 5 seconds until your health starts to regen, but the rate that it regens at has been cut in half. So I think DICE seem to want to keep people, you know, behind cover for a little bit longer so that they can't instantly get in on the action. I don't think it's going to make a massive difference because the regen rate was pretty fast. I mean, 4 seconds here for 40% damage, so that means if you've taken like 90% damage, you're going to be stuck behind cover for 9 seconds, plus the 5 seconds for the auto regen delay there. So, you know, 14 seconds probably feels longer in an actual match than it sounds like when I'm just saying it. But, you know, hopefully DICE are going to look at that, and if it does need to be reined in or a little bit, and maybe they need to find some middle ground between beta and the new build, then I have full confidence that hopefully they will do that. Next, we have a couple of leaks to look at, and unfortunately I won't be able to show you guys the leaks here on the channel because there's always a chance that, you know, EA will just try and shut me down for it. But the first one is of some of the cosmetics in the game, and these are specifically the Battlefield 4 themed cosmetics that we've all been striving towards and working towards in the Battlefield 2042 Battle Pass. So that's the Engineer one, there's also an Assault Player one there as well. I will link you guys down below so you can go and check it out over on X because I have shared it there. Let me know what you think of them. I think they actually look really good. They came out really well, and you can pretty much expect everybody to be using these skins, I think, on day one when Battlefield 6 releases. Other leak, and this one I find very impressive, has come out of a data miner. He's posted this over on Reddit, and again, I will link it down below in the description. And what it shows is an entire building being destroyed. This is happening in the Battle Royale mode, and what we see is a player walking around the ground pillars of the building. He's shooting them with RPGs, he's hitting them with sledgehammers, he's throwing anti-vehicle grenades, basically whatever he's got on hand, and they do take a lot of punishment, but every time he hits one of these pillars, you'll see that more and more debris starts to fall away from it, and they get thinner and thinner until eventually those pillars collapse, and the building gives way, and it completely collapses. And I think the reason they've not done this in the main multiplayer mode, but they are able to do it in the Battle Royale, is because if you had entire buildings collapsing in the multiplayer mode, there wouldn't really be much of a map left to play around. And you'll have to remember, you're playing in this relatively small area on a multiplayer map in Battlefield compared to the Battle Royale. In the Battle Royale, you've got this circle of fire around you, so you have to move closer to the center, and that means they can actually allow for these buildings to be destroyed. I also think it's going to stop people camping, you know, as the circle gets smaller and smaller. Maybe somebody finds a height advantage, and in most BRs, the only way to really take them down is to walk up the stairwell, which obviously puts you at a disadvantage. Maybe drop onto the roof from a helicopter. Again, that also puts you at a disadvantage. Now, if you've got a squad camping in a building, you can just go to town on the building and destroy it entirely. If you haven't seen the video, I really urge you to go and take a look at it. I think this also shows what Battlefield is capable of doing in shaking up this Battle Royale formula, right? Because when we all heard about this, it kind of had us scratching our heads thinking, why are DICE bothering to chase what is kind of like an old formula now and not like super trendy anymore? When it's been done to death, they've done it with Firestorm before in BF5, and it looks like this is going to be their special spin on it. The whole destruction thing, the vehicles, everything around that is what's going to set Battlefield 6's Battle Royale apart from the rest. Next piece of news comes from Battlefield Bulletin, and this is detailing a little bit how the Infantry APS Gadget is going to work in Battlefield 6. So this is what he has to say. He says the grenade intercept system for the support class is capable of tracking and destroying up to 3 projectiles as hand-thrown and launch grenades once the activation window begins after the initial detection. The GPDIS gets automatically destroyed after tracking 3 projectiles. And bit of a video here for you guys, so you can see how it works. Shoots down the grenade there, throws a second one, shoots that down, and the third one as well, but it only works while it's blinking. So this is going to work the same way that it does as in Battlefield 2042, where the first grenade triggers the activation, the blinking, and that will continue, and it will only shoot down more grenades if those grenades are thrown within that time frame. So probably the best way to counter this is just to throw your first grenade, and whenever you get that on-screen notification that it's been blocked by an APS gadget, just wait a few seconds for it to run out. Last but not least here today, the Battlefield 6 theme has been released. It's made by a guy called Henry Jackman, and it's on YouTube. I'll link you guys below. I want you to have a listen to it. Let me know what you think about it. I've got to be honest, I'm a little bit underwhelmed. I find it kind of mid. It's not as bad as 2042's soundtrack to me, but considering the other music that I've already heard in Battlefield 6 so far, it just doesn't really do it. It's got a lot of sort of mechanical noises in there, a lot of pulsing noises, and it sounds like it's building up to something, but then it just never really comes around. There's no sort of big crescendo that leads up to the Battlefield theme. And in fact, the Battlefield theme is very seldomly heard throughout the entire track. So maybe it's just me. Let me know if you guys have heard it. If you've not, go and have a listen to it. Let me know what you think below. I don't think the soundtrack, at least for me, is like the be-all, end-all. It's not the most important thing in the game. So, you know, it being kind of mid, in my opinion, it doesn't really bother me too much. It's not going to spoil my enjoyment of the game. But I will say I expected a little bit more. I'm going to be honest on that. Anywho, that is going to do it for this video, guys. Let me know what you thought about everything in today's video that we covered here. Leaving a like below is always appreciated. Subscribe to stay up to date with everything Battlefield, and I will see you all in the next one.